Okay, top New Year's resolution. Want to know how that's going for you? Where are my 8%ers at? So if I hold this glass of water and I ask you how much do you think this weighs, not that much. My arm doesn't hurt, but if I keep holding it here for a couple minutes, for an hour, say 24 hours, my arm's gonna be completely numb, okay? So this water, what it represents are all the challenges, anxieties, worries, stresses that we hold on to. And the longer we hold it, the more pain we have. So one of the biggest stressors is money. Yeah, that totally awkward, completely nobody likes to talk about topic. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't have stats on how many people are financially stressed, but it's a lot. And if you're one of them, you're definitely not alone. So many people today are treading water. You know, they owe money, expenses for kids. Nobody prepares you for that one. The bills, especially after the holidays, debt, loans, the list goes on and on and on and on. And when your bill says outstanding, that's not a good thing. I don't know why, who came up with that claimer. So everybody wants to save money and more money, but figuring out how to do it, that's the hardest part. So according to Forbes, 63% of Americans don't have enough to cover a $500 emergency fund. There's no better sleep aid in the world than knowing you have extra money on hand to cover those unexpected things. That is reality that happen. So I don't have all the answers, but I can tell you this. You need the key is to make money work for you instead of working for your money. So if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, the reality is you'll work till you die. I know that's like a super dark thought. It's really early in the morning too. It's the truth. The 40-40-40 rule, that's the norm, which is your life is roughly working 40 hours per week for 40 years, which is like the best years of your life, to only retire on roughly 40% of your annual earnings. That is crazy to me. So you end up trading your time for money. And it's the toughest trade you can make because you can always make more money. You can never get that time back. And it's your most precious commodity. And what happens is physically and emotionally, you become absent from your family. So today, most people, you work an hour to get paid an hour. And if you don't work that hour, you don't get paid that hour. And it's a prison. So it starts with changing the way you think about money. And this is really hard for people to understand. And it was really hard for me to understand as well. But it's because we have all these habits that are so difficult to change, and nobody teaches this in school. I mean, we learn about Pythagorean theorem, however you say it, but nobody teaches compound interest or how to save and invest. And compound interest is what Albert Einstein claims is the eighth wonder of the world, but nobody's taught it. So people living paycheck to paycheck, they want to change. Nobody wants to live like that, but you can't even fathom how to save or starting a business or investing because you're barely staying afloat. So in terms of saving, a really good tip that I heard is look at your paychecks, and what you want to do is you want to save first and spend what's left over. Most people do the opposite. Most people spend and then save what's left after. And that's backwards. And your savings should be automatic so you don't even realize it's gone. Because the goal is to save a small amount of money that continually grows and grows and grows. That's the power of compound interest. So, story about Theodore Johnson, used to work for UPS back in the day. He never made more than $14,000 a year in his whole life. But he ended up with $70 million when he retired at age 70. So I know that's extreme, but it's a true example. The New York Times just wrote an article back in the day about it. And how on earth he did that was he invested really wisely. So he swore by one thing: take a percentage of what you earn, no matter how hard it is. It's a lot harder being broke. And you set it aside like the government taxes you. Like you put it straight into an investment account. And it's hard to fathom saving when you're making $14,000 a month. But if the government came tomorrow and added 20% tax onto what you're already paying, you would freak out, you'd scream, you'd probably punch the person who told you, and then guess what? You'd adjust and you'd do it. So this is the same thing. When you take that percentage out without seeing it and automatically put it in an investment account that let the interest work for you, it is powerful what happens. And the reality is you don't earn your way to a fortune, you invest your way there. So let your money flow. I think some people are hard to let it go. The word currency means flow. If you let it go, it will come back to you. I promise you. So most people who want to make extra money, the mentality is you work harder and harder and harder. However, the harder you work, the more money you make, the more time away from your family, the more taxes the government takes. So earning extra money to people means getting a job in the evening, more time away. So why I'm so passionate about my, a side business, a home-based business, is because it makes sense. There's no rent. You're not paying for advertising. You're not paying for employees or equipment. Find something with little risk, and that's a big tax write-off because taxes are what you pay the most. So I urge you to look if you can find a way to make residual income or royalty somehow, which is that income that continues to come in after the initial efforts have been done. It will help you become financially free, not loaded, not, it can, but just not working paycheck to paycheck. That's like the big goal. So especially when you have an opportunity like today's day and age with the internet at hand where you can do anything. So just a good example, my girlfriend from home, collecting royalties, created this book, Sean Marzano, A Place for Sam. It's like the best messages book. And she wrote this. And I have another friend who I grew up with, Tim Gibb, and his brother, who created Title New York, a sandals line. And it always seems impossible until it's done. And if somebody did it, so can you. So you need to grow with your money, and this is why people who win the lotto completely blow it, because you're not growing with it. That whole get rich quick, it doesn't work. So the most important and best tip I can give you is to educate yourself. Saving money, investing is not enough, and it's a complete mind shift that needs to happen. There's a stat that 88% of financially stable people, they read every single day for 30 minutes, whether it's audibles, podcasts, books, whatever it is. And people who struggle financially, statistics showed only 1 in 50 read every single day. So that really said something. And educate your kids. When I grew up, my parents made me pick up our dog's poop for 5 cents a pile. Like, no joke. Like, we had to always constantly find a way to be making money in the house, which is ridiculous, but it's true. And with our kids, we have 3 jars: spend, save, and donate. And we make our kids put their money in, and then they decide what they want to save, what they want to spend, and what they want to donate. Get them involved, because I think those lessons are invaluable. So the last thing I want to leave you with is, another thing, playing Monopoly doesn't count for a kid learning stuff, because I do remember, I don't know, the little mini iron or the thimble, bank error in your favor, collect $200. That's not realistic. It's not. I know Monopoly's fun, but no, it's not. So I'll leave you with this. Live below your means, but within your needs. If you can afford a 2,000 square foot house, buy a 1,500 one. And try to get as much pleasure saving as you do spending, because there's nothing you can buy that will make you happier than money in your bank account. And the challenge, if a challenge of when you want to buy something, ask yourself, is this a want or is this a need? And if it's a want, walk away. And you really want to get good and have some discipline, use cash. You'll think twice before anything you spend. It's very easy to swipe a credit card. So with that being said, hope you have a great weekend. I hope this helped. I hope it made sense. Boom! Happy Friday!